My name is Jon Payne. I look after the sales engineering team in the UK. InterSystems is helping customers embark on their digital transformation in a number of ways, most important being by making it easy, quick and simple to achieve, by connecting different data silos, by enabling them to re-architect and re-engineer operational, transactional, analytical systems into a single cohesive platform. It makes digital transformation fast, efficient and effective. So one of the great assets that InterSystems IRIS brings to a digital transformation program is the fact that it is such a simple technology platform. It's not an amalgamation of a number of different moving parts, whether they be open source or from different vendors. That means that the technology risk associated with bringing them together is removed. It also means that you need a significantly lower number of different skill sets to implement solutions to support your digital transformation program. InterSystems IRIS also supports digital transformation by means of being cloud neutral. This means that whilst you can choose a particular cloud now, in a year's time, when the market has changed, as it will do, you can take your implementation and move it, lift and shift it directly into another cloud platform with little or no cost. This gives a remarkable business agility that you don't get with cloud-specific technology implementations. The migration process from a development perspective to InterSystems IRIS, certainly for existing customers, is remarkably simple. They can take their existing application, transport it into InterSystems IRIS, recompile it and run. There's very little change that may be necessary. Once they've done that, then they can take advantage of all the new features and capabilities that InterSystems IRIS brings. For new customers who are implementing InterSystems IRIS, generally it's similarly advantageous. What we see is that bringing systems onto IRIS from other platforms means that organisations can reduce the number and type of different platforms that they're currently using. They can reduce their operational complexity, they can simplify their architecture, reduce the number of skill sets that they need, and greatly reduce the impedance within the organisation in terms of data flowing around it. This means that an organisation moving to InterSystems IRIS can gain some significant benefits, particularly as what we tend to see with organisations that are newly adopting InterSystems IRIS is that they might bring it in to solve a particular point problem, but then when they see the advantages of IRIS, it tends to spread out through organisation, permeating that organisation, taking on different roles, solving different problems and different use cases. We've seen this in a number of organisations. The migration to InterSystems IRIS from a commercial position for our existing customers is extremely simple. We've reduced the number of license types, we've reduced the complexity of our licensing model, which means that there's very little reason why customers could not simply and quickly move to IRIS from a commercial perspective. For new customers, equally the commercial perspective is quite interesting because we see this amalgamation of a number of different platforms down to one, handling complex transactional activity, perhaps consuming streaming data, surfacing that into a variety of analytical frameworks. We see a consolidation, a collapsing of a variety of different technology stacks into one platform, and that greatly reduces the costs associated with maintaining those platforms, not only from a technology cost, the amount of hardware required to run those, but also from a people perspective. Far fewer people are required, the number of skills that you need to manage and operate those platforms, to take advantage of those, reduces dramatically, makes a business much leaner, much more adaptive, much more efficient. When a customer migrates to InterSystems IRIS, there are a number of benefits that will bring, both from a commercial and a technical perspective. If you look at it from a purely technology perspective, the simplicity around, in conjunction with the speed and scalability of InterSystems IRIS, brings a lot of operational advantage. It means that an organisation can grow, it can put much more activity through that platform, and without having to reinvent or re-architect it. However, from a business agility standpoint, InterSystems IRIS provides a large amount of flexibility to react to changing business needs, to change the way in which business processes operate within an organisation, to marshal new data types, to interact with different systems and different people in different ways, much more readily than you can with more traditional technologies. And that means that a business can then be more adaptive and more efficient in the digital world in the future. InterSystems supports the developer community in a number of different ways. Primarily and firstly, there's a lot of interaction available with developers from InterSystems staff. Our mission is really to enable developers to get the best out of our technology possible, whether that's providing architectural advice, whether that's working with developers to solve tricky technical problems, or whether it's putting developers in touch with other people who are solving similar problems. And in line with that, we have a extremely comprehensive developer community that's out there now that we promote and support, and that's actively not only supporting and enabling developers to ask questions and gain answers from other people using our technology. It's also now starting to serve as a reference in the broader market when people are looking for solving more generic engineering problems, for example. So we're seeing a lot of people using our developer community coming in from outside who aren't directly using our technology but are looking for answers to assist them with solving different technical problems. So I think that's an interesting validation of the success of that. Alongside the developer community, we also provide what's called Open Exchange, which is a medium for sharing different artifacts, different examples, different implementations of particular solutions to solving point problems, and that's proving to be extremely popular with our developers. And then finally, education and learning is important to us and important to developers. One thing that's interesting about the way we approach this is that from our perspective, all the online learning that we provide is free to access, free to use. People can take that at their own pace, they can come back to it as often as they want, so we find that works extremely efficiently. And then lastly, we have a highly capable support function within InterSystems called the WRC, the Worldwide Response Centre. What that means is that anybody that's got a problem of any nature, if they can't find an answer in the developer community or elsewhere, they can phone up the WRC and get an answer straight away. If it's beyond the capabilities of the WRC, such as, for example, if it's a deep architectural question that requires an engaged response, then the usual model is then for that question to be passed on to somebody like my team, and we will talk to that developer, we will talk to that organisation, we'll understand their problem, we'll help them solve it. InterSystems achieves such high customer service recommendations by paying attention to detail. Every question from every person matters. It needs an answer, it needs a thorough answer, and it needs an appropriate answer in a timely manner.